because the adrenal glands have to kick into gear and make this very important hormone called estrogen, which is the love hormone. Okay, now people here, they always think of oxytocin as the love hormone, and that is a brain chemical, and that is an important hormone too. But that's the safety. When you stimulate oxytocin, you feel safe. That's not what lowers your stress levels, though. From the safety, you now begin to feel like, okay, if I feel safe, then I can ask for help. Then I can depend on others. Almost the whole beginnings of the feminist movement of more independence for women, although I think it's a great thing for women to have more independence. If you're in a bad relationship, you can get out of it. Okay. So there's a reality, but understand it all starts from being in a bad relationship. Girls growing up with fathers who are not available, fathers who weren't there. And so they can't trust men. They can't depend on men. So they live in a state of hyper stress because they don't feel safe. The presence of a father, a loving father, makes you feel safe. When you feel safe, then you can feel, I can depend on a man. Your mother did not depend on a man. And so you have no experience of men are wonderful. Men are great. They're like the handyman. They'll do whatever you want. They're the rescue guy. They're the emergency guy. They don't have any needs. They're not demanding. They don't whine. They don't complain. They're like comfortable to be around. So these are all the good virtues of men. But if you don't have that as a child growing up, then you don't feel safe. And so when women don't feel safe, then they experience more adrenaline. They're in a sea of adrenaline. Now, for women who are going through menopause and you're having these hot flashes and mood swings and irritability and inability to feel positive as opposed to a bias towards negativity. What happens when you're in a stress state? Because now your adrenal glands are being required to produce estrogen, but the adrenal has already burnt out. See, your adrenal gland is going to be pumping out all of your cortisol. And a lot of women, by the time they get to menopause, they're not even making cortisol. So, because I have women test their hormones and so forth. And when they're younger, when they're stressed, they'll be producing the cortisol hormone. But as you get older, you're not even producing the cortisol hormone because it's the gland has been overstressed. Okay. It's not healthy. So you have to help restore adrenal function and do things that will increase adrenal function. And ironically, they're the same things that would allow you to produce more estrogen. Because first you produce oxytocin, which is I'm feeling safe, and we'll discuss how to do that. And then with that, then what are the skills to stimulate estrogen? And you have to have these skills to make it through menopause, but even more importantly, after menopause. You want to be happy and fulfilled. You want to be making love. You want to have your sexual function intact. So many women
We need to
lose
talk
that.
about sex. We
Yeah,
definitely need to talk about that. Yes.
yeah, very, very important because in order to experience increasing love in your life, sexuality is a big part of it. I'm not saying it's the only way to feel love, but to feel increasing love, to feel that attraction, that ignite of, it's not going to be all the time, but what happens is you have to think of it like two magnets, a man and a woman.